Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth. Now, I hope you've enjoyed the two puzzles a day for the past week. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep up with that pace, if I'm honest. I think with my full-time job, that's probably not something I'm going to be able to commit to. But realistically, I'm going to have to do this every now and again just to keep on top of all of these fantastic puzzles that our regular constructors keep releasing. I don't know if it's appropriate to say this, but I feel a little bit of a competition that, once a great puzzle comes out, it's highly rated, it looks fantastic, I really want to feature it first. So if it means occasionally having to do a second puzzle during the weekday, that's what it means. Now, a bit of a story about this thumbnail. When I saw the title of Dress to the Nines, I wasn't actually sure what it meant. I've never actually came across that term before or that idiom. So I had to look it up. And I don't know if it's more of a commentary on my English language skills or the fact that I don't dress up enough and poor Mrs. Sleuth has to put up with me dressing in t-shirts most of the time and looking fairly casual. But at least when it comes to Dress to the Nines, I think, really, you've got to be talking about tailcoat suit here and a top hat. I imagine that's not necessarily what it means to a lot of people. It could be just, suit and a waistcoat, for example. It could also mean a tux. But I feel like if you're going all out, you're being called Dress to the Nines, I think it's got to be a tailcoat suit. Well, anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle. So it is Dress to the Nines, well, that one you saw coming, by Willpower again. I mean, as a prolific constructor, we're going to see a lot of those fantastic puzzles from him. Now, what I'm not seeing, though, is why did he pick that title? Because if you're thinking like you'll see, a stick man in front of a mirror, maybe admiring the suit that he's in, or a gala dinner of some sort, yeah, that would make sense. But I'm looking at this puzzle and I'm thinking, I don't see why it's called Dress to the Nines. Now, my expectation, though, is maybe Will is hinting at the fact that all these circles add up to 9? Maybe? And that's actually quite possible because they're all in different rows, columns, and boxes. So that may well be it. And, for example, this could be a 3-6, this could be a 3-6, that could be another, well, that's not 3-6, clearly it's not going to add up to 9, but I'm almost wondering if that's what it's meant to be. But I think we're going to have to go out of our way and prove that indeed they are 9s or they're not 9s, and that theory is bonkers, and somebody else in the comments is going to have to figure out why it is called Dress to the Nines. So let's take a look at the rule sets. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means digits 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. That's kind of fairly standard. Numbers on arrows, sum to the numbers in the arrow circles. So for example, that means these 3 cells, which are on the arrow shaft, add up to a number, I should say a single digit, which you'll be able to find in the circle of that arrow. And we've got many arrows, as you can see, including this incredibly lengthy one of, what's that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells that somehow add up to a single digit. We also have numbers with a black dot between them, such as these ones or these ones, are in a ratio of 2 to 1. So for example, if this is a 4, this would have to be 1 or 2. 1 or 2? No, excuse me, 2 or 8. And not all possible dots are given. Now I could see that we've got disappearing lines once again. I thought I fixed it. I actually fairly sure I know what's causing it. So if you bear with me, I am going to make a change that should hopefully eliminate this, which is a bit of a shame because essentially it's a setting on my monitor that allows me to use high dynamic range. And it's a shame that I actually have to turn it off to be able to record smoothly. Let me try that again. So if that was a 4, this would be 2 or 8. Yeah, it's made 0 difference. So something else is playing up. I have no idea what it is. Well, anyway, none of that matters. We're all here for the puzzle. Let's take a look at what we have. Link will be in the description down below if you're feeling about dressing up. Going out for a formal dinner, dressing up and solving this sleuth puzzle from Willpower? Well, link will be in the description down below as usual. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, there is an arrow that I thought this was incredibly long, which is this one. So if I do these as the absolute minimum, all of these would be ones. We're already at 4. And these two would be 1 and 2. That's another 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 3. Is that correct? That's the absolute minimum. Oh, hang on. 1, 2. Nope. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. It is a 9. It is all the minimums. All of these have to be ones. And we've got a few digits in under a minute. Notice we've got a 1 in the same column as this arrow, meaning this is now 2, 3, and 4. That's essentially the next set of minimum digits that it can be. And it's also the maximum digits that it can be because that adds up to 9. Now, these can't be a 2 because we've already pencil marked 1 and 2 in here. That is the 2. Have we got any other obvious things like that? I'm kind of wondering. Yep, we've got this one looking at this same sort of setup. This is 2, 3, and 4, except we've got a crop key dot in here. So these are not the 3. This is the 3, and we've got a 2, 4 pair, and we've got another 9. So I'm feeling pretty confident now that that's the clue we've been given. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Looking at this cell, this has to be a 5, even if these are 1s and 2s. And it can't be. This is, well, this could be a 1. Yeah, and I guess this could also be a 2. So yeah, this is an 8 or 9. This is 5 or 6. This is 1, 2, and 3. I'm kind of essentially, you know, if this is a 5, this could be a 3 with a 1. And this could get to a 9. That's not a 2. That's basically all the possibilities in here. 1 and 2 means this is a minimum of 3, 4. This is 7, 8, or 9. So this is not 1 or 2. I've already pencil marked them in the box. To minimum, this is a 3. So if this is a 3, that's a 6. And we're back at 9. So far, fairly plausible. This could also be a 4 with a 2 in here. It won't be an 8 because that would be too much. That would be 12. 4 with a 2 would get us to 6. Now, I can't have a 5. I could also have a 6 and 3. And that's it. These are all the options. 2, 3, and 6 in here could also mean another 3 or 6. I feel like 6 is too much because even with 1 and 2, I can make that work, surely. No, I can't because that's not 1 or 2. 2 could also be with a 1 or 4. Let me explain what I meant by 3 or 6. So if this is a 6, I can only put 1 and 2 on here to get to a maximum of 9. However, this cannot be 1 or 2 because we've already placed them. So this can't be a 6. And I'm going to say because this cannot be a 6, this cannot be a 3, and therefore this cannot be a 6 either. This is 1, 2, minimum is 3 in here, which is reasonably large. I guess if I go with 1, 2 in here, it feels unlikely, but even if I go with 1, 2, that's at 3. So I can go all the way to 6 in here. Feels unlikely, but it is possible. And it looks like, unfortunately, the minimum I can make this is 1, 2, and 3. So this is from 6, 7, 8, or 9. This idea that all of them are 9s is slowly dying, isn't it? I think if I can actually place more of these 1s, I will feel a lot more confident about this. How can I go doing that? I mean, I've almost like given up on solving the puzzle. I'm just interested in proving that all of these circles are nines, which is not really the way to go about solving a puzzle, I should admit. But that seems to be what I'm doing, really, isn't it? So I don't think this can be 2 and 3, because that would force a 4 in here and a force in there, breaking the puzzle. So this is not 5. This is at least 6. If it is a 6, well, 1 is not available, and therefore 1, 5 is not available. 2, 4 would break it still, so it's not a 6. 7 could be 2, 5. That doesn't break anything. That would be a 4. That would be a 3. 2, 5, 4, 3. That would make that a 6. So 2, 5 is an option. Therefore 7, 8, and 9 is possible. That's the last one we haven't really pencil marked, isn't it? So neither side could be 1. I think I could do 2, 4. I could also do 3 and 6 in this direction. And that's all the options, isn't it? Kind of back to this cell. It's either 6 or 9, and it can't be anything in between. Because, 2 and 4, that would be the minimum that's on here. Next digit up would be 3, 6. And then the one after that, 4, 8, would be far too big. So it's not 4 with anything other than a 2. Interesting. Right, where do I go from here? So 8, 9s, and 7s are hugely restricted in row 3. I'm just taking a look at row 3 because it's the one I've pencil marked the most. And 9 can only be in one of 2 places. It's either here or there. Now 8 can't actually be here either, because we've eliminated 1, 8, and therefore 8 would be coupled with a 2, and we're getting to 10. So 8 is in one of 3 places. It's a shame that the 7 can be on here. I could put 2 and 7 on here without breaking anything as far as I could tell. Otherwise, these 3 would have been 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, we know 9 is up here. 9 is none of these, none of these. I mean, that's a very weird corner pencil mark. I'm tempted not to even do it, but yeah, it's the same setup. Again, I just feel that these are all 9s. I am missing the clues. I'm missing something that would help me confirm this. So let's try this. If this is 1, 2, 4, what breaks? 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, 4. That would make this a 6, we know that. That would make this a 1, would make this a 2. So far, nothing's broken. A 1 in here makes that a 2, a 1. think many of you are probably shouting at your screens now saying, Sleuth, you've got Sudoku blindness, you're not seeing it. And I admit I am not seeing it. Where should I be looking? So, I mean, row 3, kind of the one obvious location. Column 4 is the other obvious location. Again, just we've pencil marked a lot of it. And then row 7, just again, because the 1s and 2s are already placed in there. So placing the 1s and 2s does place a huge amount of restriction about your options. You know, you immediately start with a 3 or 4, and it just places a huge amount of restriction on it. I haven't missed anything in the rule sets. Numbers are arrows, numbers with a black dot, not all possible dots are given. No, I don't think I have. All right, let's think about this. So I certainly see no problem with 2s and 5s. What does it do if I place a 2 and 5 in here? 4, 3, 6. That breaks. If I put a 6 in here, I need to place 1s and 2s in there. But notice if I place a 1 in here, that would place a second 2, breaking the puzzle. And if I put the 2 in here, this can't be 1 or 4. Why can't this be 1 or 4 again? If it's a 1, it would require a 2 breaking this cell. If it's a 4, it would require a 2, because an 8 would be too big, breaking this cell again. So this can't actually be a 6. And because it's not a 6, we've actually got now very nearly a triplet. So I can only use one of these digits along here. So at a minimum now, this is 2 and 6 as an absolute minimum, meaning this is no longer a 7. This is a very long way of trying to confirm that this is a 9, but I'll keep going. So what's wrong with 2 and 6 now? What happens here? So 4, 3, 5, 6. That means that's 8. That means that's 9. That's 7. Which breaks the puzzle again. So if I remove the 9 from here, I need to place it in there. And now I need to get to 6, which can only be with a 4, 2. However, in this example with a 2, 6, that's 4, that's 3. 3 on a black dot has to be a 6, that has to be a 9. No place for a 9 in row 3. So 2, 6 is not possible either. So that means, I was just about to say, what about 3, 5? I'm pretty sure 3, 5 doesn't work because now I've used 4 digits in 5 cells. So yeah, 1, 7 is not available, 2, 6 doesn't work, it breaks, and 3, 5 also breaks. This is not an 8, this is a 9. That was a very long way of showing that though. Now the 9 could be 2, 7, I assume. Could be 3, 6. What is not, however, is a 4, 5. 4, 5 would put a 3 in here, and then we've broken this, we've broken that, we've broken everything. So this is not 4, 5. This is either 2, 7 or 3, 6. Now, if it is 2, 7, that's 4. Therefore, that's 3, and that's 5. If it is 3, 6, that would be 4. That would be 2. That would be 5. Is it 5 in any scenario? It almost looks like it, doesn't it? It always seems that this is a 5. Because it's either a 2 and 4, 3, or it's either a 3 and then 4, 2. And it always eliminates all the options but the 5 in here. So that's a 5. Eliminating clearly the 6 and the 7. Now 4 is way too big, because now it's either, and I'm actually going to say 3 is too big, isn't it? No. So this is either 1, 2 to make an 8, or 1, 3 to make a 9. So this is all possible. Now 1, 2, 4 is unfortunately still possible, making this still possibly a 6. We're narrowing it down though. We are definitely narrowing it down. We've got, again, very strange, almost triplets, almost doubles going on here that we just need to work through once again. Now there's always a 1 in here. I mean, it's not hugely helpful because I knew there was no 1 on here. There was also no 2. Now if I do put 3, 4, what does it break? I think it does break, because 3, 4 so if that's 4, that would be 3, and then we'd be left with 4, 2, and then it'll be 1. And yeah, it could be 3 or 2, so it doesn't actually break. I'm not sure why I said it will break. This is quite a tough puzzle. It's not sort of a smooth puzzle that I'm normally used to from Mr. Willpower. So I've got a 2, 3, 4 triplet between these. What I'm left with is whether the 6, 7, or 8 are used. So these are actually from 6, 7, or 8. And essentially between them, they're creating another triplet with the 6, 7 that's here. It's not hugely helpful because I'm not really able to place any digit, but nice to restrict it a bit at least. We do have another 3, 4 somewhere in this box. And at least it's not in here. Place the 5. Yeah, it's just not enough. Not enough. So we still have 2, 4 as a possibility. And I don't think it's possible anymore in here. And why is that? Now, for 2, 4 to be a possibility, remember that would be a 2, 4 in here. So if I place it with a 2, 7, that's 4. That would put the 2 and 4 in this direction, which seems fine actually. Really does seem okay. And I'm guessing 3, 6. 3, 6 actually places a bit more pressure because it removes the 3, 6 as an option. I really need to stop trying to prove that this is all 9s. I think I'm losing things and I'm missing things because I'm playing this puzzle the wrong way. And maybe instead I should actually just, try and solve the puzzle. It is much harder than I was expecting though. So I think this we've shown can be 1. No, it can't be. 1 would put a 2 in here, breaking this cell. So this was never a 1. This was always a 3. This was the 1 to make this add up to a sensible digit. And there we go. Wow, that was long-winded. Well, long-winded, I think, mainly by me. I should have spotted that earlier. 6-8 pair. We've got more 9s done. 3 is out of the question now, so we don't have 1, 2, or 3 because we've already placed 2 of them. This is 4, 5. No, other way around. And this is another 9. Wow. 2, 7. That's not a 2. That's not a 4, therefore. 2, 7 is actually looking at this cell now. That's a 4, that's a 2. So I could do 2, 4 this way. And I could do 3, 6. Now, I've got a 2 set up in here, meaning there's a 2 down there, which there is. Have I eliminated any of these? Not really. We've got this 1 looking at here. This is a 2, this is a 1, this is a 7, this is a 2. 3s and 4s are not resolved. I actually know now this is a 3 because I've got 1 and 2 in the column. And since the minimum of this is 5, this is 5, this is 1, and this is 9 once again. Only one more circle now to prove is a 9. I know I said I should stop playing it as if I'm trying to prove all the circles are 9s, but I just carried on doing that anyway. You'll have to excuse that. It's a great failing, clearly. These are all 6, 7, 8s. Doesn't add much to this. These are not 7s though. I've already placed it in here. That's the 7. 6, 8 pair. That's a 9. There we go. I can stop trying to prove they're all 9s. It's done. Let's just play Sudoku now. This actually just finished the puzzle. What do we have in here? These are 4, 5s. What do we have elsewhere? We've placed the 6s. This tells me this is the 8, the 6. Don't know about the 4s and 5s. I must know a few other things though. This 8, for example, is in here. This is from 1, 2, and 7. This is a 2, 7. This is 1, 2, or 7. There's a 7 in here for sure. The other 1, 2, well, it's not in this cell because I've got 1 and 2 looking at it. That's 1 or 2. That's the 5, 5. I've got a 1, 2 pair, leaving me with 7 and 4. I've got this 4 telling me the order. That's a 4, that's a 7. I know there's a 4 in here. Not hugely helpful. What about these 2 cells? I know I need a 2 and a 6, and I actually can't resolve them. 2, 6. I need a 3, which I can actually place because of these 2 3s looking into this box. And I'm left with, I'm going to say 7 and 8. I can also resolve them because of that 7. Now I have 4 and 1 and 2. Well, the 1 in the box tells me the 1 is up here. This is a 2, 4 pair. I actually know what the order is. That's the 2 because of this 2. That's the 4, the 3, the 4. I need 5, 7, and 8. Doesn't look like I can resolve them yet. Yeah, really doesn't look like I can resolve them yet. I can resolve this 2 though. Therefore that's a 7, that's a 1, that's a 2. 3s, I can do 3s in this box. 4s? Not yet. What else can I not do? 5s, nothing obvious. 6s, nothing obvious. sevens. Surely I can do that. Yeah, here's a 7. Can actually finish the 7s. Not quite. Actually, I can. Here's a 7. Here's another 7. That's the last 7. Haven't rushed that, did I? Yeah, these two 7s were eliminating all the options except this box. This 7 and this 7 were eliminating all the options except this cell, and therefore this was the last one. Yep, that's all of them. 8s. Left with an 8 up here. In fact, let me just finish this row, surely. I need a 3, which can only be in here. I need a 6 and an 8, which I cannot resolve yet. But I can put another, a 1 and a 4 by the looks of things. Which would help me resolve these two. And then the 8, I need one, yeah, in this column. This is the only place for it. I need a 6, which helps me resolve these two. I need something in here, a 5. I need a 2 and 4 by the looks of things. That's not the 4, that's the 4. I think that's all the 4s actually as well. What do I need to place in here? I need a 5 somewhere in here. Strangely, can't resolve it. So this is 5, 6, or 8. And they all seem to be available. This is 5, 8. That's the 5. That's the 8. This is the 6. This is the 5. This is the 8 and 5. This is whatever is left in here that I haven't placed yet. 6. I need a 6 and 8. That's the 6. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's the 8. Oh, and the 8 to solve today's puzzle. Oh, fantastic willpower. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, would it have been as straightforward if I'm not constantly looking for the 9s? It probably would have been easier than what I was doing. I think, this break-in of the 9 was fairly obvious. As soon as you placed the 1, this break-in of this 9 was again fairly obvious. And this 9. So we were able to get this far without really deliberately looking for 9s. But I think getting the next set of circle was, wow. That was hard work. That was definitely hard work. Enjoyable work though, which I hope that you have enjoyed today's video and today's puzzle. I definitely look forward to reading your comments, and see you back for the next one. Bye for now.